What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We unfortunately ran into just a couple complications. Corey's actually in the middle of a hurricane, maybe not literally in the middle of it, but we're oh, how's it looking? We're trying to get Corey all
Yeah,
set up
I'm
here
back. I'm here for now.
for now. So if you see any hiccups or delays, we apologize. We're just trying to make sure everything runs smooth for you guys. So good to have you guys on. Um, we appreciate it. We're just going to let some people trickle in. So um, let's see. We just got back from TwitchCon, Corey and I, which was great. We continually get more feedback about the game and the future of Gray Zone Warfare, and we are constantly working on ways that we can help in the future with not just improvements and of course performance is huge, but even other content ideas. So it's nice to go there, and we had a good time, but now we're here to focus solely on you guys. This is what it's all about. It's all about our community, and this is why we're doing these streams, and we will continue to do these streams, giving you guys not just updates, but eventually we'll even have our lead community manager, along with like Foxic, who many of you know, and others that will join the streams to more interact with you guys. So, Corey, how have you been in the middle of the storm?
Fine, okay-ish, other than, your complications with internet and stuff. Still have power, so that's good for now. For
Yeah,
now. Knowing my luck, that's a time-limited situation.
yeah, yeah. Living where you are, there's going to be some issues here and there, but we also on this stream too. We're going over, guys, the whole Devlog 5. So while we will go over it, if you've already looked at it, yep, we are going over the same things, but we will break it down a little more. We will talk about it. Corey, as you guys know, our creator relations manager, also known as Devil Dog Gamer, he will also talk about more of how it affects maybe the PVE PvP experience, and then I'll help answer some questions for each topic we go over. So
Mm.
right now we're basically just, like I said, stalling for a couple more minutes so that we can get in some more folks to the stream. With that said, um, I will go here, and we also have our team. Foxic is helping us with basically doing like almost like a slideshow, if you will, of each feature. So if sometimes you see us giving him the cue, then he will start as soon as we get going. So um, we'll have a couple of other quick things. Believe me, this isn't just literally reading the Devlog 5 verbatim, but we can also say that it's not like we're going to be revealing tons of more new stuff on top of that. Reasons for that is this is just part one of the operational enhancements, features, improvements. This is just part one because we have so many more, improvements and features we're adding into the game. It's just not enough room in one devlog. I think Corey can
Yeah, we
agree
need
with
to.
that.
We have some
um,
large devlogs coming.
yeah, yeah, and of course, we are saving some of the not only the best for last, if you will, but because of where we're at in development, we are still really working so hard on animations, the designs, the NVGs. Like Corey can correct me if I'm wrong, but every time he goes in and tests the newest build and he sees how much it's true to life, he gets really excited. I would think you agree with that, Corey, of where we're going in development. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things, and I think, I'm having connection issues also. Um, there are a lot of things that are very, very exciting, coming down the line. I get more excited each time I get a hands-on, um, some new stuff, um, when we do get access to new build.
Yeah. And again, guys, we apologize. There's technical difficulties and storms in Corey's area, so we still love having Corey here. He has so much. It's been such a blessing to us at the studio. Really great insight, not just from the creator end, but from his own experience as a Marine, weapons and combat expert. So anyway, he will still be here even if the camera is lagging. So we will make it work. I feel at that. We already have a question for full throttle. DG says, "Skull mask when?" Well, we've actually been getting those requests quite a bit, and you know, as we get these things, we definitely want to say the when and how and where and all that stuff. But we've gotten that request many times, and I can tell you that we are absolutely working on some, whether making some new, whether it's cosmetical stuff, that some of it might take time, but some of it will come in sooner than later. So once we have definites, we'll let you know. But just so you know, we are definitely aware of that request, aren't we, Corey? Good
Yeah,
old skull mask.
yeah, skull
Love it.
mask. We
Yeah.
read everyone's requests 100%.
Yes. So I think Corey, if you're okay, then we'll just we'll get right to it.
Yeah.
All right, Fox is talking to us right now. He's giving us a work. All right, just waiting on the green light from Fox. How are you looking, sir? Sorry, guys, stand by.
Okay, I'm still here, I believe.
Okay, I can hear Corey.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Shall I begin?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Well, of course, again, now that we've given a few minutes for everyone to jump in, thanks guys for jumping on this stream. We're, excuse me, we're basically giving you guys a full rundown of the quality of life improvements, new features in Devlog 5. Well, we're definitely going to answer your questions along the way as well. Before we get into this, just a couple of quick things. We want you guys to really be in the loop and keep you along for this journey. And we even, for example, some little good news is that we are expanding our team, and that comes with more customer care roles. And when we have more customer care, it means that we are able to, you know, um, address tickets and things a little bit quicker, right? So we customer care is very important. You guys are already aware of Veronica, who is our new community manager recently, along with Jakub, our lead CM, and he is going to be actually eventually doing streams as well, and really focusing on community-driven content and stuff. So you can look forward to that, along with getting more QA, testers, programmers. We're really trying to boost and strengthen, performance in the game. And it's very important to us. We are working on, by the way, guys, performance as we speak, and we are hiring more and more people to. Performance is everything. We understand that we can add all these features. We understand that we can upgrade the game and add more content. But if it's still having issues with the desync and some other issues, of course, with performance, and we're always working on it, guys. And speaking of that, we do have a hot fix, and well, the hot fix is actually coming in that we're working on, where it's going to help reduce crashes. There'll be more details revealed actually really soon, because tomorrow we'll have the experimental testing open for our players, for you guys. So if you want to take part in that, we'll have more details, but you will find that in the Discord. So we are working on a hot fix. But just keep in mind, when we do post these updates, we do tend to notice people check the game out right now. Well, the truth is, if people are really asking when the best time is to come back and play, we're even saying, hey, look, the time isn't now. It's actually when the update actually releases. Now we don't have, and I know Corey, they're going to hate us for this. We don't have a release date yet, but that's because we're not 100% certain. We are still, developing. We're still ironing things out, and we need to test it. There will be more to come about what we want as we get closer to the end, of a new beginning. Of course, with a major update, about more about the things that we are doing and working on, and of course, the release date itself. So please bear with us. We definitely look forward to giving you that when as soon as we know. But yeah, so I've said that we've hired new positions. Oh, Foxic, I'm getting a call from Foxic. Oh, we can do that. We can actually do that, and that will give these guys a little curveball, but that's okay. I'll keep going, and if you bring them in, then we'll do that. We might have a special guest, folks. Um, so lastly, we wanted to clarify that night ops is more than just a patch. We've released two major patches since early access launch, and this update, not only just is going to bring fixes, performance boosts. It's also going to bring absolutely new content. We are revamping the tasks. We're revamping the economy. We're improving the AI behavior, and we're addressing the aimbot. I know that what I'm saying now is nothing new, but I just want to emphasize that there's a lot coming. This is our first major update that is definitely different than just a patch alone. Um, so with that said, We are basically ready to get into it. So, Foxic, would you mind at least switching over to the first slide? And then, again, I do apologize. We are trying to get Corey here, but we are having he's safe. Just for the record, him and his family is safe, but he is still having technical issues. So we don't want to slow you guys down, and we might have someone else join. Excuse me, in his stead. Okay. So look, one of the biggest things that you guys have been asking for is, the waiting. The waiting game is it could be abysmal. Look, I play the game myself. I love Gray Zone Warfare. I feel the same pain when you're waiting and or negative, all birds in the air, negative, 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 and it just becomes its own little meme. So we are refining the helicopter mechanics for faster, smoother traveling, and basically they've been overhauled, and the purpose is to streamline your experience across Le Mans. Okay, so they now will spawn and despawn closer to the map's edge, reducing the time you spend waiting for transport. Um, that's huge because even for me, uh, I am LRI. Okay. And when I'm at like Fort Nerith in the bottom left corner and the fob is all the way up here, my base, waiting to get picked up for the little bird to come from the base to the LZ uh, can take a while. For now, or what we're doing now is we're having the little bird come from off the map that's closer to the LZ itself. So this is going to help on many fronts that we can get to even in a little bit. But basically, you know, um, what else I wanted to mention is, this is obviously going to slash the transit times and getting you back into the action quicker, especially the pains of when you are dying and trying to get back in. We've even positioned some of the old LZs to optimize your travel routes, so that's great because it does help mitigate LZ camping, right? So we are adding more LZs and repositioning some of them. Um, and I really think this is awesome. We've actually optimized our flight paths by adjusting speeds, introducing new splines, and that provides more efficient and direct routes. Sometimes you have to go around a little more, and I'm not saying we're perfecting it, but we are refining the path. So that means the helicopters are going to travel quicker, and it's going to be more predictability between locations. And then again, that's going to make smoother transitions. It's going to better overall, your mission, your pacing. So and to make this more effective, also we're having a new widget, which you probably noticed in the GIF as well. So that introduced the tracks, the flight times, giving you a better understanding of when the little birds are going to arrive and the departure schedules. So I think that alone right there is going to help. Is it the perfect fix? No, we're going to keep on improving this over every update, but we can tell you that it's slashing the wait times, and that is awesome. Um, Okay. Well, this is a little bit of a curveball, guys, but we are bringing in our lead community manager. We had this as a backup plan. Corey's let us know now for a couple of days that he may have some issues, indeed, with the stream, and we've been testing this out and testing it, and everything was fine. About Foxic would testify if he was on stream with me. We had it looking good 10 minutes beforehand, and yeah. So how about this? While we're waiting for Jakub, let's answer a few questions. Let me take a look. Um, all right. So let's see. Pew Pew Q or Pew Pewel Q says, Rick, are we looking at 2024 or 2025 target release for this? If you can give a firm date. Well, I can't give a firm date yet. I can absolutely tell you it's coming out in 2024. It's coming out in the fall. So um, we are absolutely aiming. We're not going into next year. It is happening this year. Let's see. The Rule of Nines asked, Devlog 5 Part 2 when? Devlog 5 Part 2, we don't have a date for that yet either, but we are working on, because there's so many things we're trying to pack into these devlogs. We want to, just give it a little bit of time, but we'll give you a heads up. We want to get that out there as soon as we can. But
That's right.
there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being patient with us. We now have Jakub on stream with us. He's leading the community managers, and I've loved working with this guy. He has a ton of passion. I'm not just like trying to hype this guy up. Maybe I'm a little bit, but you know, um, yeah. Sorry, the transition guys happened like just spur of the moment.
Yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but hello everyone. I think that I'm Jakub. I think that you were going to be seeing each other a lot more in the very near future, where we're planning a lot of really fun community games and activities and stuff like that. But I know that you guys are not interested in that right now, so let's really get on cracking with what we have for you.
Yes, and rare. Well, before we just, I still wanted to finish just a little bit on the helicopter mechanics, but there was some nice questions that I think we should answer. Guys, does the white mean you lose everything? So you, yes, it's a fresh start. However, based on the addition you have, you will keep your gear. We were kind of saving this for later, but I will say that um, as we get with each update, there might be more items that are coming. Um, to supporter edition or whatnot. Let's just say that that's still we're working on that. But there's the whatever you have in the additions from the additions, you'll keep that, and then if we add anything more, you'll have that as well. Let's see. I want your GZW shirt. LOL says Mars 1091. Will you be selling merch like that shirt? Yes, yes. We have. Well, obviously we have a lot of things we're working on. One of those things is yes, we are going to have merch, and we are going to have yeah, and actually different T-shirts,
May I
hoodies.
jump in here? Because there is actually a perfect opportunity for you to affect what we're going to be offering on our Discord channel, on our Discord server. In the you will find it. We basically are asking all the community people there to tell us what they would like to wear with the Grey Zone Warfare on them and proudly represent. So if you have opinions, let us know and we'll get it sorted.
Absolutely. So with that said, before we go into the next topic, the one thing I think that's important to note is the fact that we have, with the reduced wait times, with those reduced times does come the fact that you have to spend less time waiting at the LZ, right? When you spend less time waiting at that said LZ that you're at, then it actually does help with, with more of the LZ camping. See, a lot of times we find, Jakob, I'm sure you would agree that it's not planned LZ camping. People are waiting for their little bird to come. So if the times are reduced, that means you spend less time at the LZ, which means that you spend less time of little birds, kind of like not colliding literally, but coming together from different factions. We
That's
still
right.
think that there's a lot of fun that is associated with that. So it's not like LZ camping will be completely reduced or gone away with, but this is going to certainly help with more LZs, dispersing the LZs, and then so on and so forth.
What is
Okay.
also going to help, I guess, is the fact that there's going to be more of them, right? And they're going to be placed in slightly different locations sometimes.
Yep. Absolutely. So, if we can go on to the next slide, if there's any other questions about LZ, we can. I don't. There are, but I think we can go on to the next topic actually. So, how are we doing, Fox? Yes. Okay, guys.
Oh, we're seeing
It
it
is
already. So
perfect. So, oh, sorry.
uh, let me introduce this one. This one is my favorite
Do it.
because yeah, we have been listening to you guys a lot. I've just finished watching a couple of YouTube videos about Grey Zone Warfare, and one of the things that comes up over and over again is I need motivation to go out there. I need motivation to find and look for stuff, and that's why we're bringing in high value loot for you to find and hunt for. Rick, you can tell us more about it.
Yeah. So we want to encourage you guys, just expanding upon what Jakob was saying, we want to encourage you guys to go out there and explore, not only during the game, but, once you get through the game, let's be real, you finish the tasks. And unless you're just, doing the grinding thing and you're going from one loot box to another, just grabbing weapons, while that still is an important factor, uh, excuse me, the stakes get a little higher and you can find some of that rare loot so you can get out there and explore. The one thing that we're trying to emphasize more of is the gear fear. So when you get this high value loot, it's not like you're going to find it in every single nook and cranny. It will be rare. And so when you find it, you obviously need to get it back to the fob, back to the base. So we really think that this is going to create so much more excitement and much needed excitement. So um, and that leads us before we get into that. You know, I would just say that we are also trying to work on, of course, replay value. To be honest, guys, I don't think we're going to expect even in this update to be the replay value to be like super high. You're already going to be doing a lot of tasks. We already know that if you complete the game, you've done 133 tasks. Well, we are happy to say, and we did say this beforehand, not only will the task be revamped, but there's going to be new tasks just for the nighttime. And so, how many more? We don't have necessarily an exact number, but there's going to be more to do. But when it comes to the replay value, the high value loot is definitely essential to that. Um, but this is what we're looking to improve with every update is that replay value as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of high value items, we might segue into the other big news, and that's one of the other complaints that we have heard a lot is, where are my goddamn keys? I'm trying to get into this door. I have searched through every corpse and no keys anywhere. So we are addressing that in the upcoming update.
yes, we are trying to make it more logical, guys. I mean, and not just having to kill AI. I know the pains from playing this, especially when you look at a place like YBL. Oh my goodness. Getting the keys, and I know the frustrating parts is if you have a key blocker from a task. We understand the frustration. Again, I try and play. I'm a gamer at the end of the day. Jakub's a gamer at the end of the day. We love talking about video games, so we need to make it more logical, and it doesn't just have to be from killing someone. So this is going to help, and especially the essential ones, guys. I think this is. Let's be real. I'm pretty sure that there was, and from in fact from our feedback reports, Jakub, we saw people will stop playing when they couldn't get these keys. We on the bright side of things, we noticed people were sharing keys. So if someone got an extra key, that they would share it with other people in the fob, and that's great and all. But that shouldn't be the solution, right? That's a solution in and of itself, but not the solution that we need to take the ownership there. So we're making it a little bit better for you guys. So let's see. For each time we talk about a feature, guys, we'll definitely break down some questions. So if you have any other questions, please feel free. We have our lovely community managers that are putting some of them up there for us as well, so we can take a look.
I
Um,
will just. I think that this is a perfect place for a little disclaimer because I have been with you guys for a month now, so I'm still considering myself a noob. I play every day though, and I'm catching up. Yeah, I know many of the things, but maybe not all of them right now.
sure, sure. So when will we find out? So the Booty Bandit 69 69 69.
Okay.
What a name. Says what when will we find out what's in ground zero? So we did recently review our roadmap. Excuse me. And that is still some time away. Like it's a little while, it's a ways out. So, right now we're going into update 0.2, which eventually leads to 1.0. And if we're doing if we're doing, two updates, give or take a year, that's coming more towards the end. That's more of the end game. There's going to be so much. There's so much that's going on with ground zero that's going to affect the entire game. So we're just not there yet to talk more about it because we have to focus on this update and some of the other things but we'll get there. We will get there.
I'm
Uh,
glad I saw you stop yourself there, which was good.
it's exciting, Jakob.
Yeah.
It's like we see the vision, we see the work we're doing, we see yeah, that's all I can say.
Nothing about Ground Zero. Nothing.
Foxic, would you kindly go to expedite your looting one? Are we already there? Okay. Jakob, would you like to lead or I can jump right in?
All right. This time I'm going to paint you a picture, right? You're running around. You maybe find your dead body, and you want to get something out of the backpack, right? But it's difficult because you have to get the backpack and then manage everything in your inventory and everything. All of that is streamlined in this update. Not only backpacks, but also the harnesses and everything. So yeah, much easier access to loot.
Absolutely. I mean, it's efficiency is key, and everybody knows when you're looting, you're whether it's a player or AI, well, if it's AI, what are you looking for? One of the first things you're looking for is the key. You're always hoping you get a key. And it's whether it's backpack rig, it's just nice that you can check these things out quicker and to give you that option to select. And that's what we're trying to do. If you guys can tell by now, we're trying to make things more efficient and more effective. We know that there's I don't know about you, Jakob. I have died plenty of times. This is my fault. I will be a little bit like, you know, click on, hit the F key, looking through the body, and all of a sudden, freaking AI comes around the corner because I didn't clear the area well enough and starts shooting me or takes me out. Well, I don't know about you, Jakob, but I'm really looking forward to this myself. because I want to do it quicker and I
Right.
want to be taken out.
Yes,
So
looting under fire is never a good idea, but it is going to be easier this time around.
yes. Let's see. What other questions do we have in between? And it's okay, guys. It doesn't have to be about this feature. We can answer questions that or whatever it may be. So, will there be okay? So the Taurus 104, Taurus, you are very familiar, sir. I know you're around quite a bit. Will there be a community testing of update 0.2 in the test server? Okay, so we are obviously we consider all our options, and we definitely want to think about these types of things. If we do that, we will absolutely let you guys know, because obviously we're testing it internally. But if that opportunity arises, we'll let you guys know, and Jakub especially, since he's running the community comms. So that's a good question. We are considering everything. Okay, so all right, so can we go on to the next slide? Foxixer. The inspect injuries and assess. We are there. Okay. Jakob, would you like to start again?
All right, another picture. This time, a sniper rifle comes out of nowhere. Your friend lies dead in front of you. You inspect the body, and now, because of this new feature, you know where the bullet came from. We're going to be able to see the exact injuries of and causes of death of not just your friends, but also anybody you find.
Yeah. The other thing is that you have the ability to check the inventory of a comatose player, right? So someone in a coma, you can check. And I think that what's really great about that is you can get, if you don't have the gear, right, the equipment, the medical supplies, you can get it from them, right? So that's another big benefit. And also, providing more context about the fallen enemies. I think this is something that people have been wanting, especially because I remember even Jakob in the preview test, um, going back to when someone's in a fallen state, and if you don't have the gear, that you can get it from the other player, your own players.
That's very frustrating. Yes.
Yeah. So this kind of a little bit, since we're talking about, I guess let's see here. I always want to go into the next one, but I forget we do have some questions along the way. Um, Quelago, I hope I said that right. Quelago or Quelago asked, will there be a new POI with 0.2? This is a great question. So we are actually adding environmental points into the game. Environmental points aren't your average, aren't like a point of interest that you would think of. When you think of POIs, you think of something like Fort Nerith, right? Or Midnight Sapphire at these locations. Excuse me. And while we eventually will add some other POIs in the future, these environmental points, they'll be, we'll just say really much smaller, right? Points of interest, but there's you'll see like maybe an armory or a military AI in another location, or loot, or maybe hinting at some things of lore or even history in Southeast Asia. So there's going to be a plentiful amount of environmental points of interest that can, but they're not going. I wouldn't say they're going to be like huge. They will help talk more about, they express more of the environment in the game, the dark setting, the dark tone of, in Le Mans, of Gray Zone Warfare. And they will be and that's more of Jakub, I think, what we've been talking about, right? Exploring. So you're exploring and you'll find high value loot in some places, but you'll also find these new environmental points, and they are dispersed all throughout the map. So that is going to also give you more incentive to explore. The goal of what we're trying to do, and this actually ties in later into our devlog, but we already have a big map, guys, right? 42 kilometers squared, huge open world map, but we are going to make it denser. And honestly, there's a lot of open space. So I think Jakub would agree with me. We are really looking forward to adding more density to the map.
That's right. I have almost nothing to add except one thing that I think that we're putting a lot of emphasis on, and that is environmental storytelling. So all these environmental points, you might be able to assess what has happened here before. I don't know about you, Rick, but I enjoy this especially in Fallout games, for example. Where I'm going around and trying to find out what actually happened. So
Yeah.
these things you have already seen in the game, right? But all these environmental, not all of these, but some of these environmental points are going to have the stories like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Foxic, may we humbly request the next slide, please? This one's a fun one. You want to start with this, Jakub?
Which one are we at right now? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, the bullet trajectories. The
Yes,
death
yes,
screen.
sorry.
The death
Sorry.
screen. The screen of death. How they
Yes,
got
so
hit.
I already started talking about it because I'm
You
really
did.
really excited about this one, and that is really like sometimes you really don't know where the bullet that got your friend came from, or you want to find out, where the attackers are hiding, maybe. So you inspect the body and you find out from which side where they hit, and you find they were hit from the back. Oh my god, plot twist. So yeah, this is now possible because you are going to be able to check the injuries of your fallen teammates, and also of all the corpses you find.
Yes, and also I think what's great is that you'll see the path, right? In our game, the realistic ballistics are very important to us, right? So you can see the path of even how you were taken out. So that's really neat. I think that sometimes it gives a little bit of sense of peace of mind to at least know that, I don't know, wasn't some cheap kill or you thought you were hit one place and now you can see it. You can see it with the from other players as well. I just think this is a nice little feature. Okay, let's see. Let's stop for a second. Say,
Mhm.
oh, okay. So Emersario says, forgive me about pronunciation. Um, hello, information about Spanish in the game. So we are bringing localization, excuse me, other languages. And this is something that while we don't have an exact time or date, we're not waiting to 1.0, right? So we're going to work on localization and adding more languages. It's very important. It is very important to us. So this is coming before 1.0. Stay tuned on that, but that is something that we are working on. Let's see. Any chance of opening? Okay, so I'll read. Gaming says, any chance of opening your Discord to more content creators? Applications don't seem to be looked at. Fair enough. So
The
actually,
perfect question.
it's a perfect question because thanks to Corey is doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Devlog Gamer. We are actually coming up with a creator program. Now, this creator program is a way to, if you haven't had a key, or if you just want to, keep track of our updates, and we might have some other uh, program that we're able to do that we're working on right now. But when you sign up, if we look it over and obviously we have to approve it. If we approve it, you do get the creator role in Discord, and we are having a section now in Discord for creators to talk. It is obviously known that we do have another group of a VIP group, so to speak, that is different. But this is a way that you can communicate more closely with the developers, or specifically Corey and I. So there will be an actual creator section on Discord, so creators can talk amongst themselves. And so yeah, there is more to come on that, and we will open this up once we get a little bit closer to the release date of Night Ops. Okay, how about we go to? It's not a GIF, but it is a little nice cinematic of talking about enhancing the mission strategy about the tasks. Jakub,
That's
sir.
right. Yes, my favorite part of the game, uh, stories, right? So Rick already mentioned that we are going to introduce bunch of new tasks because of the night element of the game. You are going to have much more interesting thing to do at night, but also we are revamping some of the existing tasks. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yep, absolutely. So when we mean revamp, some of the wording we realized wasn't always the best. Some of the locations were a little bit maybe not as reasonable. So we are working to revamp, um, those tasks. And I think, you know, there are times even where in like you'll see it doesn't matter which vendor it is, they'll say hole, bunker, and then Fort Nerith. And I don't know, maybe for me, Jakob, it's reading comprehension, but even when I'm looking at it, we're trying to make it easier, especially for folks like myself, um, just to try to understand what's going on, even for myself. I will say our lead writer is amazing, and I love all the things like the tasks that we've done. We try to make it like from actual PMC type related tasks in real life. But we do realize we need to revamp them. And then I didn't say a number before, but we are you can look at around over 20 new tasks, give or take, um, for a night. So there is a lot that goes into this, guys. This is another reason for the wipe, right, Jakob? I mean, we can't just change the tasks, keep the same. Like we have to do this wipe. It's a great way to start fresh. And when you do these revamp tasks, it's not like the whole game's going to be completely different. No, that's not the case. But now you can start to think about: do you want to do some of these tasks at night, right? Uh, who do you want to do them with? How do you want to play it? And now there'll be a little bit of freshness. We have some, in fact,
Yeah.
Jakob, there was a gentleman today, I think he was talking about trying to beat all the tasks again for the ninth time. Well, If it was me, I would say, "Hey, man, maybe just wait till the update. You've beat it plenty enough." But he loved the game that much.
Yeah.
But now he'll be able to play it again with a fresh start. You know what I mean?
And
Revamped.
just consider all the new tactical possibilities when the nightfall comes.
Yes. Okay. So what do we have for questions here? So, all right. And this is kind of on the same vein, in the same vein. Sim Simshep Gaming says, "Will we have to restart all quests in the starter towns upon wipe? This was a very slow part of the game for a lot of us, and I dread going back." Now, I understand that. And in what you're saying, I get it. But the thing is, when we do start over, we with the revamping task, I think you're going to really find that that it's fresh. We are also rebalancing the levels of the vendors, so we have to wipe the whole thing, right? We are rebalancing progression. So we're rebalancing the weapons and even the ammo and the rounds. With 76239, we want that to work a little bit better than it does, right? So all these things will still give you that fresh start, even in the starter towns. I can assure you that once you see the sun going down, it's all going to just fall into place and it'll feel seamless. Um, yeah, yes. My name is Nerf. Can we choose to take normal quests but do them at night? Yeah, absolutely. Uh, so that's one thing I think that will really add to variety, a little spice of life, as they say. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that what is the interesting and enticing part for me is that when you take tasks because you want to complete them during the day, and then the night falls, and all of a sudden, what do I do now? I'm not
Yeah,
equipped for this.
with the new tools and everything, right?
Yeah.
Um, So if we may go to the Elevate Team Comms with new emotes and faction messaging slide, Mr. Foxixer. He's on it. Okay, Jakub.
So this is everybody's favorite part. We all play toys, and we really like when we see in the movies when the cool guys are doing all the cool hand motions and hand gestures. So emotes are definitely going to be part of the game. Right now, we're starting with a bunch of simple ones to ease the communication, especially for those who are not interested in using the voice chat. But over time, we are planning to add all of these tactical emotes that you are used to seeing in pop culture and real life, actually. So yeah, big deal.
I think so too. I actually had it where I was playing and all of a sudden my mic stopped working. And I was with these guys that they gave me like the DDM5, like the upgraded level 3, like gear, like the attachments. And I couldn't talk to him. And I'm trying to jump up and down. I was literally trying to shoot on the ground and make a message. Well, emotes kind of help with that problem, I would think. And it helps with those who are just not in the mood to talk. It helps to be fast, efficient, effective. I don't need to tell you guys. You guys already know this. It's a nice welcome addition. The other thing that I kind of like, Jakub. Sorry, I just raised my voice like crazy. Sorry, Foxic. Um, he tests all the levels beforehand. Is we're gonna have campfires, right?
Mm.
And what I love about that is it really adds to the environment of the game, and not trying to overhype it, but I like even the sitting down emote. So if you're talking to players or you're just chilling, you can just sit by the fire. And this game looks. I mean, obviously I'm a little biased, but I love the game. Looks gorgeous. So sitting down by the fire, maybe swapping gear or something like that. I think
There's
it's nice.
something comforting about that, right?
It really
We
is.
were talking about it today, earlier today, that we are both FromSoft Games fans, and especially Dark Souls.
That's
And the fire and sitting around fire with a bunch of comrades, that has a very special place in our hearts. Yeah.
agreed. Um, I think the other thing that we can mention, and then I think Jakob, you wanted to mention something about feedback from the community,
Hmm.
but I think the other thing is the faction messenger system. You know, I think there's several reasons why this helps. I remember when I'm playing, uh, someone would ping each person in the faction. At least I assume so because I got a message saying, "Hey, heavy PvP area at Lima 2," right? So now, rather than having to message each individual, you message the whole team. You can say something like, "Hey, need help at this." Even if you died by AI, need help. Save my body. If you're by Fort Nareth or whatever. There's the faction messenger chat system is another efficient and effective way of comms, and so we're trying to give you more options if you're not using voice. So
Yeah. I just wanted to add one thing. We're definitely going to be listening to your suggestions on the Discord server. The emotes are obviously, like a very, very big thing for a lot of people. And if you have a favorite emote, then go ahead and let us know. I will warn you, however, though, don't expect any silly dances anytime soon.
Still want to keep the immersion a little bit in the game.
Yeah, I know every move matters, but let's be serious here.
Bruno Akers asks, new guns when? Okay, so we have mentioned it before. We haven't really shown much except a little taste of the MP5. Now, with that will come, of course, new sounds, animations, attachments. But what's exciting about the MP5 is not just that we're in the MP5, of course, that we're adding. How many new AKs is it, Jakub? 5, 6? I mean, we're
Don't ask
adding.
me. I don't want to. I don't want to like leak
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. The point is, we are adding more AKs, and maybe we're going to not just save it for the next devlog to tease. It's because we actually are working still on some of the animations and whatnot and the design. So we're going to, in the next devlog part 2, of the operational improvements and feature enhancements. That's going to be in part 2. We're going to break down some more of the weapons, um, and then a devlog after that will be more about what happens at night. But we have so many more things to talk about, and the weapons will be one of them. So let's see. Yeah, biggest. Okay, so excuse me, Stragatest. That sounds like a wizard from Lord of the Rings.
That's the Radagast the Brown.
Radagast, see? I, and I thank my kids for that.
You will never
Radagast.
out nerd me, sir.
I can't. I can't with any of my kids. But Stratagast, I actually love that name. I'm not going to forget that one. So he says, biggest hang up for me right now is what AI improvements are in store for this update? That's a phenomenal question. Okay, first and foremost, we know number one, performance. We know that that's our number one priority, guys. Like that's huge, right? And we understand that. And reducing crashing, we talked about that with a hot fix, and there'll be more to come. But the other thing is AI. Okay, we know from the beginning we have emphasized the PVE and the PVEVP. The AI is being worked on as we speak. We are even getting more members to the team to work on AI, but we are addressing the aimbot. I'll tell you that straight up. Also, the AI is going to have to react to light. We are working on that as we speak. We are working on them acting more, in some ways, player-like. But we have to not only, again, same thing with the weapons. We're still working on it, working on what behavioral improvements we can make. We have talked about already that they will go to sleep at night. Maybe not all of them. Maybe you'll have some. Of course, you'll have some enemy AI on guard, but you'll have AI who sleep. So it's a nice little throw a little frag in there, and in the wherever they're boarding. But yeah, there's more than that as well. We're going to make sure we can start to show some of it rather than talk about it, right, Jakub? I mean, we want to be able to show some of these things. So stay tuned, because that is also going to be in the next devlog where we talk more about the AI behavioral improvements. But just know that that is a absolute huge priority for us. It has to be. Okay, so the Carolina Ghost asks, will we keep keeping our player level when the wipe happens? So as when we do a wipe, everything starts fresh, right? And because we're even changing the progression of your own level and how you level, the points and everything, we do have to start fresh. So it will be a fresh start for everyone. With that said, I think, Jakub, we can, and Foxit, go into the next slide, which is we labeled it identify and coordinate.
Right. So this is something that has happened to anyone, right? You don't check the map, you don't know where your teammates are, you don't know where other people from your factions are, but you all of a sudden are standing in front of somebody. Is it a friend? Is it a foe? Well, now you're going to be able to identify them based on the patches that they wear on their arms. We really wanted to keep it realistic, right? Not to give you like a silly name above the head, but really like stay immersed in the world, but give you the option to differentiate between the different factions.
Yes. I'm going to interject only because this is a question. We did address this earlier, but I think this is important. Venom Pool 32 asks, will the DLC content that we paid for get lost from the wipe? And the answer is no. No. You were going to keep your gear that came with it. But now going back to this. So we understand that this is just the start. I can tell you that we want to keep the game and you immersed in the game and the environment as much as possible. So you won't ever see like a triangle over your head. But the badges do help. They certainly help, and you still have your attack map to check to make sure if you're checking really quick to make sure they're on your faction. But yeah, the badges are a start. Will we do anything in the future? It is very possible, but this is something that we could implement now. Just realize, guys, that as we are just so early still in the pre-alpha stages, you are going to see a lot of these features. Just because you see them in update 0.2 doesn't mean they're final. some of this can evolve. Some of it can evolve based on your guys' feedback. But this is a start, so at least you'll be able to see their badge. And I think it's nice to put that in this update than not having anything. So we do think that this is going to help. Will it be a little challenging at night? Well, that's where you use your tools and your flashlights and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Just maybe we can see some other questions. Okay. So H1 Manu says, will there be some balancing for the economy, like selling, buying prices, and quest reward? Yeah, yes to all. Yep. We realize that this was just the beginning for us. We knew there were some ways we can improve all of the above. Even the vendor levels, we're not sure if we're going to add another. Well, we're working on like maybe even adding another level of some sort. There's so much rebalancing that you're going to look at a Gray Zone Warfare. It's upgraded. Gray Zone Warfare is getting an upgrade, not just an update. So
Again,
um,
a great reason for a wipe as well if we're changing all of these things.
yeah. Oh, I love what one of our CMs just did and just put like this question in huge font to make sure we get it. And it's M Ratma. Mr. Atma, one of the above, multiple choice. Okay, what is the actual real time of the day-night cycle? Okay, so we have actually said this before, and while it's still a work in progress, we're looking at like a 3-to-1. So you go into the game. Well, actually, depends on the server you're in because now you're going to have the time at each server you go into. So, but again, we're looking at like 3 hours of actual game time during the day and about 1 hour at night. That's subject to change, but that's what we're looking at. And the thing is, and I know Jakub, well, would agree because not only because he works for Madfinger, but
I have to.
he has to. You better. Uh, that there's enough reasons to come back to play that even if we didn't have the nighttime. Now, of course, we need it, so I'm not downplaying it because the nighttime is honestly, it's my most exciting part. Like with all the tools we have with the lasers, the tracer rounds, being in the jungle with the flashlights like showing up, and then you see the other faction coming. There's enough to come back and make improvements and tweaks just for the day. So there's plenty to do during the day, but that's what we're looking at is like 3-to-1, give or take.
Yeah, I would also add, you mentioned it, but just how you can use it. We are going to be showing when choosing different servers, what time is it on each different server. So if you want to do that night task, or if you don't enjoy the night for this round, you can pick the server which you join.
Correct. And if you guys didn't notice, there is a clock in the top left corner of your screen. Well, there will be. If you've seen some of the tech demo we had, there was a clock there. So how about we are now onto the slide of the new reporting and social interaction features.
Yeah,
We
that's a
already
big
there.
one.
Yes, it's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah, we understand that this is a big pain point of any gaming community, cheaters, for example, and how to report them effectively. We are now making it easier for anybody who interacts with a cheater to bring them to justice. But also part of the system is going to be we are offering new social interactions with players.
Yes. I mean, it's frustrating. Like, look, I'll be the first to say that it's frustrating if you have someone that's annoying you and you can't delete the message, or if someone's bothering you in the game, if someone's saying something that's like really off the rocker, that's not acceptable. We are making it easier to report, and I think that's a big deal for on so many levels, guys. Like, believe me, we heard the feedback in the beginning, and we knew that this is something we're going to have to do. But in the next devlog, and I can only say a little bit right now because we're working on it as we speak, we did mention that we are going to have an aggressor type system. So if you have someone who on your team that's causing problems, then they will actually get tracked on the map. Okay, they'll actually for a duration of time, and it varies. So based on their grievance, and there's more to talk about it because again, it's still being in the works. But just so you know, I think that's going to be a very interesting dynamic because when that person is now tracked on the map, you can either avoid them or Jakub. What would you do?
I apologize. I was just thinking about Corey right now. If he's okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's
Can we get
okay.
pray for Corey in the chat? Sorry,
Yeah,
he's in the
yeah.
middle
So
of a
your prayers
storm.
for Corey and the family. Yeah.
Sorry.
Um, no, it's okay. I was you and I were talking about this before earlier today about that if a player is marked And with the aggressor.
Oh, the aggressor. Yes, yes.
And like, one way is you can just avoid them. But the other option, and you might prefer this other option is,
Yeah, to be the police force, basically. Like if there's somebody misbehaving and killing their teammates or being aggressor, you can gather the squad and go hunt them down.
yes. So there's a good question. Oz, DFD, AD, SOD. These are tricky ones. What are you guys doing for people killing friendlies on purpose for their loot? Um, so we have right now where, if you kill someone twice, you can get kicked from the server. We have this reporting system. We also have now on, Jakub can talk a little bit more about this, but we have also in our Discord a nice like bot feature. So when you mention cheater, that'll come up and you can report cheater. So what else would you say to that, sir?
Yeah, obviously with the new reporting system, you will be also able to report griefing, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I am. And that's a big deal, right? We want to foster a healthy community that is connected through the game, that enjoys the game, and that is respectable, not respectable, is respecting of each other, right?
Yep.
And griefing is definitely not something that we want to support in any way.
Yes. Um, Just a side note, because this is a nice question that was earlier that I did want to address. I'm just scrolling back up. It was about the foliage, and we are very aware of that. It is very annoying. Where let's just put it this way, without getting into detail about it. Yes, we are, and I say that because we don't encourage people doing the same things. But with the foliage, with AI recognizing you from afar through foliage, like these are all sort of things that we're working on for the next update. Just so you know, we are really addressing some of the most important things that people have been touching on for a while. So that's not unnoticed.
Yeah, if you felt something that is not right, the chances are that more of you have, and even bigger chances is that we know about it and are working on it. So thank you for sharing your feedback. It really goes a long way.
And I realize that I am just we're talking a bunch here, so we'll try and keep it rolling. I was like, yeah, we'll do the stream in 30 minutes. Yeah, right. Um, New features for precision and control. Slide, please, sir, Mr. Foxick. Okay.
Right. So there are two things here, right? First one is the attention to detail. I don't know if you tried it. I have. When you unload the magazine, I was expecting that I would still have a bullet in the chamber. Uh, I didn't. Now I would. Now I do with the new update. So this is the attention to detail that you can carry weapons without magazines, and you can fire that one chambered shot. The other thing that I would mention here is we're giving you more mobility options, so you will now be able to strafe to sprint not only forward but also diagonally. Is that right?
Um, yeah, diagonal sprinting, right?
Diagonal sprinting. Okay.
Yeah. So diagonal sprinting, toggle options. We know people are asking about like toggle lean and others. So
Mm.
just know that those are coming into the game. And I especially when you're trying to run for safety, it can be annoying when you can't diagonal sprint. You know, if you're trying to get behind cover, things like that, rather than going up, stop, right, stop, left, stop. Diagonal sprinting is kind of a nice little feature. So we're happy to have some of these like quality of life things in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Foxic, if we go
sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
speaking of quality of life, this one next one is a big one, because the lockers, right? The lockers are getting fuller and fuller, and you don't know what to do with your weapons, with your loot. You want to preserve it, but you have nowhere to put it. With this update, we're going to give you the option to enhance your locker size, and that is by basically playing the game.
Absolutely. So why don't we go into the next one? Let's see. We are now at expand your locker.
Yeah, that's the one that I was just talking about.
Oh wow, I'm sorry. I was looking at the question. So you went yes. So did you sorry, forgive me. Did you mention the note about
No, that's
you
an
know
important note for you to mention.
yeah, so one of the things that's really important here is that you can now, for so if you didn't get like the supporter edition or having the bigger locker, like you can now just simply go out and get it, right, as you progress in the game. So, but for those who already have, the expansion, you're not going to get a bigger locker on top of that. You've already maxed it out. So, if you own, for example, the tactical DLC, which provides 10 extra locker lines, then you can unlock another additional 10 at rank 30. So, not rank 20. So this is something we're not going to, plan to exceed the space provided by the supporter edition. But if you have anything less than the supporter edition, you can acquire those extra spaces. Okay. To us, Fake Red Hood asks, toggling in 0.2. Yes, that's coming. Okay, let's go to explore a richer Le Mans with new environmental points.
We were already talking about it a little bit, but we can repeat it because this one is a really cool one.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, we have a very big map, 42 square kilometers, right? And
Mhm.
what we want to do is we want to populate it with interesting points, interesting environmental points, interesting points that tell their own story through environmental storytelling, or are somehow connected to the larger mystery that is enshrouding the island of Lamang.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this, again, like Jakub was saying, this ties into what we were talking about earlier. We want to make a denser Le Mans, and it's just such a big map. There's going to be more and more things we add. Not just, and we're not waiting for all of these points to get in for like 1.0. We've talked about in you know not this update, but ones after, about camps, outposts, stuff coming. So there's going to be more and more to come. But for now, we really like, we've been to several of these new environmental points, and it's a more sense of exploring, and then you'll find loot, maybe military armory, things like that. So
Or the high value loot that we mentioned above.
exactly.
Right.
Um, with that said, there was another. Oh, uh, Lishana,
Mhm.
Lshana, asks. Forgive me if I butchered that. Could be also
You did.
Ishana. I'm sorry. You can call me Mr. Butcher. So will there be a button where about stream sniping? Yes. To hide our faction mates on the map. Okay, so we are adding actual. This is a neat thing with for creators, or there's stream sniping streamer tools that are for that very purpose. Is it going to be perfect? No. It's something that's going to be ongoing. We're going to make it better over time, but we are happy to bring that to update 0.2. So that those two options will help a little with the stream sniping. We can't say that it's going to be perfect, but we are adding them in.
Yeah. It's the streaming community and content creators in general. We really want to also, meet you halfway with all of your feedback and so on, and make the game as supportive of your work as possible.
Yeah. With that said, we're basically in the conclusion. We are. This is just, guys, it's just part one of part two. We are going to delve deeper into more quality life and features, the weapons, AI. We want to talk about these things. We do feel that, what we've shown so far is good, but it's definitely not enough. And while we're not releasing night ops like, today or tomorrow, we are going to keep you guys informed. The next devlog, I'm not sure exactly when, but it's not going to be too long from now. And I think something else important, and I think Jakub, we could even leave this to yourself. We're very thankful, so much for your guys' support and for those who've been a big asset to us. And I think Jakub, if you just want to,
Well, I have so many people to thank.
yeah,
Let me just say that we would really like to thank all the people that are making this possible. First of you, the players, but also those that are a little bit more active within the community itself, like our fantastic moderators across Reddit, Steam, Discord. You guys are doing great job, and we appreciate you. Same thing goes for the community leaders, for the game masters that are helping us do the community events. Content creators, I already mentioned, you are also a big part of the family, so thank you so much. But at the end, I would really like to thank two legends that carried me the other night through a couple of locations, especially the bunker. And that's Polish guys, I think. One is called Davidov, and the other was called Tomik. and they were a huge help. And I, in time, hopefully, will be able to offer same help as they did and the same guidance. And for you veterans out there that have hundreds and hundreds of hours of Gray Zone Warfare, this is what we're expecting of you. Help the noobs, all right?
Yes, and speaking of creators too, special thanks to Crash. You guys should go check Crash's interview with our lead designer Adam. Adam is an incredible guy. He is a gamer, and he checks feedback all the time. So designers, in general, they can get feedback from the community management team, but he checks it himself. He looks at the videos that are made. He looks at the feedback that comments on Discord, things like that, and it really, um, he's always working. I will message him. Czech Republic guys are 6 hours ahead of me. I work remotely in the U.S. along with Corey. I'll message him sometimes, and it's getting towards my end of the day, and he's still getting back to me about the game. He loves talking about the game. Please go and check it out. We actually inserted the link to the interview in our devlog on Steam. You can find it, or grayzonewarfare.com. Also, we will keep continually putting updates out on Twitter, Discord. Make sure to be following our channels. We are in a really fun season. Thanks for being really patient with us too, guys and gals. We are really diving deep into night ops, and there will be plenty of reasons to come back. We are just getting started. So, thanks for tuning in, Jakub. Thanks for jumping in last minute, brother.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, this was surprising, but very pleasant in the end. I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit, but I didn't expect this.
So, yeah, prayers up for Corey.
Yes,
Appreciate him a
please.
lot. And thank you guys. Every move matters. Tune in next time as we will be doing another stream for the next devlog.
Take care, guys.